Hello students, today we are going to begin the last poem of your course, Aunt Jennifer's Tiger, written by Aldrine Rich. Before we begin the poem, children, let me give you a small introduction of the writer of this poem, Aldrine Rich. Aldrine Rich took birth in the year 1929 in Baltimore, Maryland, USA. She was known as the country's most distinguished poet. Alright, she was a feminist, an essayist, and also a poet. She published 19 volumes of poems, right? And she received several awards like the Commonwealth Award for Poetry, the National Book Award, and many other awards, right? And she survived in her marriage for 17 whole years, but after that she decided to get separated. When she underwent some transformation, she decided that she is going to get separated. She had 3 sons, alright? So this was a small introduction of the poet Aldrine Rich. She died in the year 2012. Clear? As I've already told you, she was a feminist poet. What do you mean by feminist poet? People who are advocates of feminism or who support women, alright, are known as feminists. So she was a feminist poet. Now let me tell you the theme of the poem, children. This poem is describing the age-old plight of the society, that is male chauvinism, male-dominating society, gender discrimination, alright, the evils of patriarchy, the authoritative males, alright, and the oppression by the male counterparts. Clear? Now these all are the evils of society still prevailing. So a few poets have raised their voice against it, and one of them is Aldrine Rich, right? Now, what is the theme of the poem? As I told you, the male chauvinism, due to which the females become the victims of their marriages. They are unable to fulfill their desires, alright? Now, gender conflicts, due to gender conflicts, the desire of, females yearn for the freedom. Their desire for freedom remains unfulfilled, alright? The evil effects of patriarchy. What do you mean by patriarchy? Patriarchy is when there is a head of the family, which is a male person, and he doesn't allow female to take her own decisions, or he doesn't allow a woman to fulfill her own desires, alright? So that is known as patriarchy, and in our society till today there is patriarchy prevailing, which has so many evil effects, right? And the women get trapped and suffocated in their marriages. They are not allowed to take their own decisions. Now the male dominating society, of course we all know that males wishes to dominate the society, and they consider females as a tame animal, and they can actually oppress them, they can actually dominate them, they can be authoritative over them. So this is what is prevailing in the society. Now, as I told you, authoritative society, and sometimes females have to struggle for their existence. Even they find themselves chained, alright? Chained in what? The traditions, the customs, the rules that have been made by males. So all this has been described in oppression of male counterparts over their wives, over a female, and that makes a woman timid and terrified, and she struggles for her own existence. She desires for freedom. Clear? She wishes to take her own decisions. She wishes to live an elegant life, which she is unable to. She wishes to be courageous, which she is not able to. Alright, so all this has been described in the poem. So this was the theme of the poem, children. In this poem, we are going to see how males dominate women. Alright, how males are authoritative over women, how males are oppressive. Alright, so all this we are going to see in this poem. Now this was the theme. Now I'm going to tell you the summary of this poem, children. In this poem, as the title says, Aunt Jennifer's Tiger. Now here, Aunt Jennifer is representing women community, alright? Now, Aunt Jennifer, who is representing the entire women community, and women desires for freedom. She desires to live a courageous life, an elegant life, a brave life, a strong life, like a tiger, all right? And she desires for freedom, the freedom that is enjoyed by tigers, right? So that's why the tigers here is, the symbol of the desire for freedom, all right, that woman possesses. Clear? Now in this poem, Aunt Jennifer is embroidering a tiger who is prancing on the screen. Now what do you mean by screen here? Screen is the tapestry. What do you mean by tapestry? The fabric, all right, the cloth. So what is Aunt Jennifer doing here, children? Aunt Jennifer is embroidering a tiger on a fabric, on a cloth, all right? And that tiger is prancing. What do you mean by prancing? The tiger is running, all right? He is running freely without any fear. Clear? Now this tiger is of bright color, all right? Of course, we all know the colors of tiger, right? So this tiger is of bright topaz color, yellow orangish color, right? Now this tiger is really moving around in his natural inhabitat. Clear? He is the denizen of lush green environment. Tigers do not love to be, caged. So here the tiger that has been that Aunt Jennifer is sewing is moving in its natural habitat, all right? He is enjoying himself in open environment. Clear? And he's not even afraid of someone hunting him, or he's not even afraid of being hunted by men. Clear? Now what is Aunt Jennifer doing here? Aunt Jennifer is sewing an environment which is totally different from what is running within her. What kind of life is she living? She is living a life full of fear. She is scared in her reality, right? But she is creating an alternate world. She is sewing an alternate world. She is trying to escape from her reality. Her reality is she is afraid of her husband. All right, she is dominated by her husband. She is oppressed by her husband. And what is she trying to do? She is trying to create an alternate world on a fabric. She is trying to, express her desires on that fabric, on that tapestry. She is trying to sew a tiger, all right? And tiger is the symbol of courage, courteousness, elegant, brave, strong, dignity. All these character traits are possessed by tiger, and tiger is never caged. It moves freely in its natural habitat, isn't it? So this is what is being done by Aunt Jennifer. She is sewing opposite to what she is. What is she, children? I'm repeating. She's afraid. She's full of fear, right? She's afraid of her husband. Clear? She is living a life which is dominated by her husband. Her husband is quite authoritative, and she is afraid of her husband. But what is she sewing? She's sewing a prancing tiger, right? What do you mean by prancing? Running tiger, all right? The tiger which is of bright colors and is prancing in the lush green environment, in the open environment, all right? And that sewing, that embroidery is, expressing her desire for freedom. Clear? Now this is what she's doing. She's creating an alternate world on a tapestry, all right? And what happens is she wishes to be like a tiger. She wishes to live a life like a tiger, all right? Now in the second paragraph, this poem has 3 quatrains, right? What do you mean by 3 quatrains? 3 paragraphs of 4 lines each. So first paragraph is denoting her fear. Second paragraph is denoting her slavery. What kind of slavery? She is married to a man who is so dominating. All right. Now, a person who is so dominating will always like to keep his wife a slave, like a tame animal, right? So the lady, Aunt Jennifer, is wearing the ring, all right, the marriage ring, which is so heavy on her hand that she is unable to embroider the tiger that she is embroidering. All right, her fingers are shaking, her fingers are quivering, her fingers are shivering with fear that she has of her husband. All right, and she's saying that the ring that she's wearing, the marriage ring that she's wearing, is so very heavy that she is even unable to, pull the needle that she is using to sew a tiger on a tapestry. So she is saying that she is finding it so difficult to embroider the tiger on the screen, on the tapestry, and she is finding it so difficult to pull the needle. Needle is such a light thing, right, to be pulled from a fabric, but she is her frail fingers are shivering, her frail fingers are quivering, shaking, only because of the fear of her husband that she has. All right, and this denotes how afraid she is of her husband, that she is even unable to do what she loves to. She is unable to, continue with her art. All right, what is her art? That she is sewing a tiger on the screen. So she is even unable to do that because of the fear that she has of her husband. All right, and how do we get to know that she is afraid? Because while pulling the needle, she was unable to pull the needle because her hands were shivering out of fear. Clear? And this shows that the marriage ring that she's wearing, all right, the ring that she's wearing is actually, a kind of foundation that she's living in. All right, that ring is so heavy that she is unable to live a free life. All right, that ring is keeping her in foundation of traditions, customs, all the duties that she has to do, the fear that she has. So that ring is a symbol of burdensome life that she is living. All right, now the third paragraph, children. In the third paragraph, what are we going to read is that even after her death, her hands will lay terrified. If she is submitting to all the demands of her husband, even she is submitting in front of her authoritative husband, even then, is she happy? No. Even after her death, she has faced all the ordeals, the challenges of her life. Throughout the life, she was struggling for her existence, right? And even after her death, when she has surrendered, she has submitted herself completely to the demands of her husband. She is not happy, all right? But the tiger that she has sewed, right? The tiger that she has sewed will prance on the screen. Now here, the tiger is the symbol of two things. One is, tiger is the symbol of her desire for freedom. Tiger is even the symbol of male-dominating society, the males who are oppressive, the males who are authoritative, all right? So at last, in the end of the poem, we get to know that the males are hardly affected by the sacrifice of a woman that she does, the ordeals that the woman faces throughout her life, and still she's not happy. All right, that tiger, the males in the society move freely without taking care or without even thinking about a woman who is compromising and sacrificing their freedom for the happiness of their husbands. All right, so this is it, children. This is a short summary. This was a short summary of the poem. Now I'm going to teach you the poem in detail, line by line, and simultaneously I'm going to tell you the word meanings and also the poetic devices that have been used. Alright students, now we are going to learn the poem in detail, line by line, and also we are going to learn the poetic devices that have been used in the poem. So as I told you, the title of this poem is Aunt Jennifer's Tiger. Let us first understand the title of this poem, children, Aunt Jennifer. Now here, there is a literary device used over here, a poetic device that has been used over here, and that is synecdoche. Now what do you mean by synecdoche, children? Synecdoche is when you use something to represent the entire society or the entire community. All right, now here Aunt Jennifer has been used to represent the entire women community. All right. So which literary device has been used here? Synecdoche. All right. What do we call it as? Synecdoche. And Aunt Jennifer is used. It is a name of an imaginary lady who's representing the entire women community. All right. And second, tigers. Tigers here are the symbol of two things. One is the desires of women, all right, the desire for freedom that a woman possesses. And second is, it also represents the males who are oppressive and authoritative and who always likes to, be dominating, all right. So, and they believe in gender discrimination, patriarchy, and all these qualities are of males. And here, the tigers represent first the desire for freedom, all right, the desire that women has for freedom, and second the male dominant society. Clear? So the title is clear, children. Aunt Jennifer is representing women, all right. So definitely this is a feminist poem, all right. Now let us understand the poem line by line, and then I'm going to tell you the word meanings also and the poetic devices. Aunt Jennifer's tigers prance across a screen, bright topaz denizens of the world of green. They do not fear the men beneath the tree. They pace in sleek, chivalric serenity. Now this is the first paragraph, this is the first quatrain of this poem, children, in which Aunt Jennifer is embroidering a tiger on a tapestry. Now I told you what is a tapestry. Tapestry is a fabric, a cloth, all right, a panel, a screen, all right. Here the screen is not the picture screen, it is the fabric on which Aunt Jennifer is embroidering or sewing a tiger, all right. And what is the tiger doing there? The tiger is prancing. What do you mean by prancing? Running in the exaggerated steps, all right, running in a very, jumping and running. Clear? You must have seen tigers and horses running, right? Tigers run to catch their prey, horses run in the race, and the way they run over there is known as prancing, all right. So here Aunt Jennifer's tiger is running on the screen, on the fabric. The kind of tiger that Aunt Jennifer has woven on the fabric is as if it is running, all right. Now, what do you mean by prance? Moving quickly with exaggerated steps, all right. It means running, moving quickly, all right. So prancing means moving quickly. Bright topaz denizens of the world of green. Now here, the writer is saying that the tiger's color is of topaz. Topaz is yellow-brown color that is of a tiger usually. Denizens means inhabitat or the residents of lush green. World of green means lush green. All right. So the writer is saying that Aunt Jennifer is sewing or is weaving a tiger on a fabric. That tiger is prancing on the screen, right? Here prancing denotes the freedom, all right? Running freely without worries, without stressing oneself, all right? So here the tiger is running and the tiger is of bright color, right? The tiger possesses bright color and it is the denizen or the resident of lush green environment, all right. So here the character traits of tiger has been written, children. Why? Because the woman desires to be like a tiger. She is creating an alternate world on that screen. She is sewing what she wants, all right. She doesn't want to stay scared or in fear or to become a victim of her marriage. She is filled with anger also that she is not able to take a stand for herself. She is afraid because she knows that she cannot do whatever she is doing. She is not allowed to do whatever she is doing. She is pursuing her art. She is pursuing her desire to sew a tiger, but she knows she is not allowed to do that, all right. So she is wanting to be like a tiger. They do not fear the man beneath the tree. The tiger is not afraid of anyone, even if someone is about to hunt them. He is not even afraid of the hunting man. All right, so he is, you know, a person who he is an animal who is so sure, so confident of his bravery. All right, tigers are so confident of their bravery, of their, you know, the valiant nature that they have, that they do not even afraid the man moving around him. They pace in sleek, chivalric serenity. Pace means moving to and forth, right? Moving, taking few steps forward and then again taking few steps back, all right? So the tiger is moving to and fro, and it is sleek, chivalric, right? What do you mean by sleek and chivalric? Sleek means stylish, shiny, glossy, all right? Chivalric means all these words: majestic, elegant, sure of their purpose. They know what they want to do. They are so gallant, brave, right? Confident, undeterred by any obstacles or hindrances. They are fearless, they are brave, they are courageous, right? All these qualities a tiger possess. These qualities the tiger possess, and he is such a brave creature that a woman desires to be like a tiger. All right, so she is sowing an alternate world. She is trying to escape from her condition, situation that she is living in. Clear, children? Now in this paragraph, a quick revision what we learned in this paragraph. In this paragraph, we have learned that Aunt Jennifer is sowing a tiger which is prancing on the screen, all right, and the tiger is of topaz color, all right, the bright topaz color, and that tiger is the denizen or the resident of open environment, you know, the environment of which is full of greenery, lush green environment. All right, now here, children, the lush green environment or the world of green can also be a symbol of the you know, vivacious and evil male society. All right, the tigers move around. All right, here I told you tiger represents two things, right? The tiger represents even the male dominating society. So the world of green can also be the world full of, you know, viciousness, the world full of fear that the lady is living in. All right. Now they do not fear the man beneath the tree, and they pace in sleek chivalry. They move here and there without any fear, in an elegant manner. They are courageous, they are brave, they are gallant, they you know, have the dignity of their own. All right, so this is the paragraph. Now let's see the poetic devices. Synecdoche, I have already told you. Synecdoche is when a single thing is used to represent the entire community. It is known as synecdoche. Now symbolism, tiger is a symbol of the desire of women and also the male dominating society. All right, now here second line, imagery has been used. What is imagery, children? When through words the writer is, you know, able to create an image in our minds. When we read this line, bright topaz denizen of the world of green, automatically an image appears in our mind of a tiger who is in lush green environment. All right, so imagery here. Then personification, because it is an embroidered a tiger which has been embroidered on a screen, but still it is prancing. So personification has been used here. World of green is the symbol of the evil society of males, right? Then alliteration, chivalric certainty. Alliteration is when occurrence of the same consonant sound in two adjacent words or closely related words. So here CC is consonant sound and it's one after the other, so it is alliteration. I hope you've understood this paragraph. In this paragraph, the lady is trying to create an alternate world. She is trying to pursue her desire of, you know, sewing something. She's embroidering a tiger on a screen, and that tiger is something that she wishes to become. The qualities of tiger she wishes to possess, but she's unable to because she's afraid. She is, you know, tied in the foundations of society, traditions, customs, and she's unable to do whatever she wishes to.